So what was your first job?
What was my first job? Oh, okay. Wait, there's two different thing. A job and career. Ah, you want me to
Okay,
talk
we
about
don't talk
career?
about career first. We talk about job. What was your
Job,
first
eh?
job? Mm.
I was working as a crew in a fast food restaurant.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's very much of a
Okay.
takeaway lah. So I was working at Lido. That was back in shit, I don't remember the year, but I was 13 or 14 years old. I'm working part time,
Mm.
and I was doing like the back support lah. Pretty much at the kitchen where they actually serve Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. Hoo la la.
Oh, fast food. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my first job ever. I was not confident. I was very, very kental, nak mampus. I know nuts about what
Yeah, yeah.
a job is. So it's really followed by command and try to fit in, but I can't. It wasn't long enough also lah. Yep, yeah.
I think when we were teenagers, we intend to, try out things that we thought we could do, Like for me, for instance, for myself, first I work for at the Seletar Airport. Okay. So what I do is I will change the pass for the foreigners. Okay, that was when I was 15, I think. Okay. And then I guess because it's a good pay lah. It's a good pay. But I could only commit for like 2 months, 2 months, 3 months. Because it was I think it was 2 months because it was a holiday, Sec 3, right? So I intend to get my own money. And then I worked for Guardian, and then after I worked for Guardian, I worked at the airport, and then after I worked at the airport, then to my previous first ever social service agency, okay, which we both know from that company. So yeah lah, that's a little bit of my first job as well. So when do you first enter social service?
Let me see, if I was a teacher, does it consider social service? No, that one is
But
early
that's
childhood
childhood,
lah.
right?
Early
Mm.
childhood industry. I think because why I felt like I'm doing a social for others, the fact that I have to care for young children in their
Mm.
well-being. So as much as I educate them, on the same time I have to care for them. Like really like taking care of your own kids, where you have to bring them to the bath, and then you feed them, you put them to sleep, so, and it's like the whole day thing. The entire day you are with them, definitely you have so much connection,
Mm.
just like bringing up your own kids lah. So I thought like this is my service to the young ones. How about if I were to look into my service to different target group altogether?
Mm.
So I remember at the age of I think 21, 19 I was
Twenty.
being a teacher lah. So for 2 years.
Okay.
So at the age of 21, that's where I start to work in this particular organization. Um, that's where I understand that okay, this is a kind of like self-help group. And what they do is to outreach young adult or adult itself to continue learning
Mm-hmm.
or pursue in certain skills so that they can upgrade themselves and get a better job. And from there, I learned a lot about community outreach and do a little bit of program or event management. I get a bit more of exposure in a social service sector lah. But that one is focused much on one ethnicity. So afterwards, after that 2 years, that's why I got into my own organization, the one that I say I'm working there 7 years. That's why I think I learn a little bit more in that, because I have one I consider as a perfect mentor come manager. So this person been there with me for a good 5 years before she decided to leave lah.
Mm-hmm.
So as a managerial role itself, what she did is not only just look at me as like a supervisor or supervisory relationship, is really more than that. Like she really give her 110% attention to me and really mold me to be a better youth worker, because back then I was pretty much working with the youth and doing a little bit of case management
Mhm.
and some supporting of events lah. But my core is really to work one-on-one with youth and to really ensure that they are in the right track in sense of their education or career.
Mhm.
So I've learned a lot from her, and the sense of not only just at her level, you know, like the board member even like coming down to our center to just make sure that our okay lah, everyone is like trying to achieve a KPI, but
Mhm.
the main thing is really to get the heart of these youth, to bring in how they what would entice them to come to the center and what other initiative that we could do for them to sustain throughout the year with us and so forth. So it really comes together as a community, but targeting the youth lah. So out of that, apparently, fortunate enough, I get to kind of show the other part of me, which is my passion in dance. And that's where I got the youth to merge together with me. And also
Mhm.
for good 5 years, I kind of established a dance crew lah. So
Mhm.
that experience means a lot and really purposeful lah in my life. So that's why it's very hard to forget whatever is happening there, because it molded me to be better and wiser over time, and
Mhm.
especially in my professional working in this sector lah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah.
Okay, so you have no regrets in handling youth. You know, like some of them are rebellious, some of them are like trying to talk back to you. Some of them trying to like, you know, why are you interfering in my life or whatever. Just like what
Um,
do you?
I got that a lot back then. You know, like if I were to watch it, recently we've been watching the Holland v Big Sister. So I
Mhm.
was telling Rao is like this big sister reminds me of who am I back then, where I have to take
Mhm.
care of different youth, which is under the care my care during my dance time.
Mhm.
So being a big sister is not easy. All have different attitudes, different character, a lot of clash to one
Mhm.
another. I got so headache with it. But when I look their life now, I'm glad that most of them are in track. And
Mhm.
recently, when I interviewed Adam, one of my, she's not the dance group, but she's part of the supporting group that we always in lah. I mean, when we
Mhm.
dance, he also there, you know. So he was saying like, yeah, Sab, actually, what you did to us does make sense after some time.
Mhm.
You wanted us to be very macam preoccupied with things so that we don't get into bad
Go straight.
companies or go
Mm.
straight somewhere else. So I said, okay, that's good that you think and reflect, and now you want to
Ah.
get better and better lah. So it's nice to see lah. It's either they got married or they got a good, better job or career they built. And for me to see that, that's how a youth worker kind of, I felt a success lah. I felt like that's it's a big achievement, because when you work with youth, it's not a short period, it's a long journey. It
Mhm.
takes a
Mhm.
while for them to digest and process and think that, oh, what I did for them back then is somewhat something. It's not
Mhm.
just meant for to interfere, to interframe, or
Mhm.
to just make chaos in their life. There's a
Mhm.
reason why I present at that point of time, to ensure that at the end of the certain, I mean, over time, they're gonna stay in track. So I think what also make them change is along the way, is their process becoming an adulthood lah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So definitely with what impact has made back then, followed by the process they have to go through, some kind of awakening call,
Mhm.
then they will like have aha moment that, oh yeah,
You
yeah,
should have
this
done this. I should have
I
done
should
that.
have done that. Yes. Yep. Those aha moments.
All right.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. Let me just share a little bit about myself. Um, how I started to join social service is I've got no interest in social service actually. Okay, it's far from how you told your story. Okay, it's far from how you told your story. How I get to know social service was when I first entered ITE. Okay, and then I took up NITEC in community care and social service, which in short we call it ComCare. Back then, I don't even know what the hell Comcare was, man. I seriously had no idea what is this community care and social service all about. Okay, all I know is that community care is equivalent to volunteering, so you don't get paid, and you don't get paid much at least also. And I don't choose community care because I wanted to give it to the community or any of that shit kind of thing. Yeah, I don't care whatever the community want to do. That's their problem. I don't really give a shit. But actually, because I like the uniform, my ITE
But
uniform. I have this fetish going on, like why I chose my secondary school because I like the uniform, and now why I chose this course because I like the uniform. Because it's the top is off white and the pants is blue, dark blue, so it looks kind of cool, And then it's like the uniform is like a nursing uniform. I can't go into nursing, okay, for one reason because I can't see blood. So I don't prefer to be nursing. So the second option that I would get is obviously is this community care and social service, trying to look cool and everything, but I don't even know a thing about this community care and social service, right? Okay lah, it's kind of lame lah. Okay, so and then I was like, I have to go for the interview for the course, and then my lecturer was like in front of me, asking me, so what do you know about community care? And then I was like, help. In my mind was helping the elderly. That's it. And then he was like, oh, helping elderly only? I said, yeah, helping elderly. Then I think you didn't read much about community care and social service. I said, yeah, I did, but I feel like kind of nervous when I get interviewed. But yeah, I think he said, I don't even read a shit about community care and social service. I don't even know what is that. No, I really don't know what is that. So that was how the very first time I heard about social services. So that's how it is. So that's how I started in social services. I mean, back in my secondary school, yes. I mean, I do volunteer at the elderly place and all this stuff, but damn, I know nothing about community care, man. Seriously. So okay. So what was your first impression of working with youth?
first impression, since I was really lack of experience working with youth, though I work with young adults, because young adult age is really at the first time that majority like work is like they are in mid-20s,
Mm-hmm.
then having to work backward with like slightly younger age, maybe 18 and above, I just try to connect with them in a sense like I'm listening more to whatever they
Mm-hmm.
try to vent out or share, or they don't share, they just want to be around but don't want to talk much. So it what I could sense is like it really takes a lot of rapport that needs to be built. But also depends on individual. I have one who just come to me and open the whole thing, the dirty laundry or whatsoever. Super. I think just waiting for the time to talk with the right person and just vent it out lah. So I encountered that, and it took like 3 hours
Oh,
for me to just listen, let the person pour his heart out lah.
3 hours.
Yeah, crazy, yeah. Then I don't know, like I mean, when over time, surely you know that as a youth worker, after you listen, you must also put a stop
Mm-hmm.
and to work on the important things. Meaning at the point of time, what is actually the person need and how to work around it lah. Basically, we will do some kind of goal setting so that there's certain outcome and follow up with an actions. So definitely the first few times in my sessions with the youth, I have no idea how to really have a good deal with them. It's very much of listening and taking in everything. I do got into a burnout lah because I'm taking in. I don't really have a balance of it. It's I just sometimes like it's very hard to understand them why they do what they do, but also somehow I could also relate because I was there in their shoes,
Mhm.
or behave in certain ways like them when when I was in my younger days, because I don't, how to say it, back in my teenagers time also I go through how if people would rate as mid to high risk level, I was there.
Mm.
So definitely, if you are at lower risk or no risk at all, you are likely a more motivated kind of youth lah. You always look forward for such programs, or when you come to people, paise paise lah, you like very you want to be part of in a positive group. you always open lah. But those who in mid risk or high risk level, they always tend to withdraw
Selective
themselves from
lah.
people. Yeah, they're very selective who they want to be friend with. And the more if you approach in a way like you want to give advice you macam pakcik-pakcik macam makcik gitu kan, you want to say something or you want to
All
tegur.
the more they wouldn't want to listen, right?
Yeah, the more they go distance from you or they're not going to share anything to you. So I was very much of the front face where I let them be who they are. Like I'm there, I just listen and watch and observe. I don't do much yet. So it took a while before I kind of know or learn why they behave certain ways. So psychology, when I back then I took a diploma in psychology, it really helps a lot because you have higher sympathy and empathy at the same time, just to understand. Sometimes we tend to judge immediately, but actually you must learn to also, yes, definitely we have a lot of judgment lah. We are very judgmental, everyone judgmental, but afterwards you must take a step back and think about like why this person behave in certain manner. There must be a reason behind. So we kind of have to look into the person background also lah, look into the profile to have a deeper understanding. Yeah, a lot of when working with you is very much of relationship lah. That like just how you want to make friends with other people, how you want to connect in a sense. There's something in exchange, vice versa. Perhaps you want to gain more knowledge, experience, or skills from the other person. So definitely, when you want to build a relationship, is not just like a speed date or networking, because you want to go in depth with the person. You want to journey
Understand
this
them
person
more.
life. It took months or years, so it's not really like one time off lah. Yeah, a lot of comprehensive work to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess each of us have our own forte.
Yes.
So it just so happened that your forte is to work with youth, and I mean I definitely can't work with youth. Okay, I really can't work with youth. I have trouble, understanding. Kind of like you say, it will take months. It will take years to actually for them to open up to you. You see, for them like they can the most that they will answer to you is when you ask them like, have you eaten? Yeah, that's it. And then when you ask them what do you have for lunch, some of them like you say maybe those that at risk will like tend to be distanced away from you, selective, and don't really want to talk. For them, it's like it's a burden. It's a burden. Let me just live my life. You see, you don't care. Even like they will say things like my nearest don't really care about me. Like who are you? Caring about me and all those stuff. So that's hard work there, man. That's salute you. Okay, so what is one thing that you wish you knew before you begin working with youth?
Wish I knew before I work with you
Yeah.
that let me see, how do I put it? The only thing that when I started to meet my dance crew, like I told them, hell, why I didn't meet you guys back in the days when I'm younger, in my late teens, so that I have like how to say, I can just sink in with them rather than managing a crew. You get what I mean? Like someone else will manage a crew and I'll be part of this team where I just on the same time don't have much responsibility lah, and I'm just gonna focus on my dance or my choreo or my training rather than having to manage everything.
But you are not that type, right?
But it's not that I'm not that type. I mean, as a at professional level, I can be good followers or leaders, but I meant when first time, yes, if I were to, what was the question?
What was the one thing you wish you knew before you begin your career?
Yeah. Having the same passion. Having the same passion actually could bring us further. That's something that somehow developed and established. Yeah. Yeah, which is dance lah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it really takes into like strength base and what really inspires you to move further lah.
Mm.
So having that connection with the youth, right, at the first time, um, how do I put it? That's how you have a stronger bond,
Mhm.
and that's how you also create a long-term relationship
Mm.
with that common interest lah. Yeah, everyone should. I mean, youth worker and those even are new who really want to pursue as a youth work or volunteering to work with youth. One thing is common interest. That's the key.
Okay. So I understand that that previous 7 years of your job, and currently you're still working with youth, right?
Yep.
So what are the differences that you see this between these two environment that you have been looking for?
To
Any
environment.
differences or
Okay.
any yeah, do you see any differences in handling the youth?
I think it just come back to the scope of work, because now I'm more to program driven rather than into mentoring,
Mm.
because my mentoring term is casual, meaning if I have the time, I make time. If I don't have, I can't make time for them. Is different. The last time when I used to work in that organization is much more intensive.
Mm.
That's why I said I can sit down and listen to one person for 3 hours.
Mm.
That's how intense it is. And now really much about touch and go. If I really want to do something with them in depth, I have to create like facilitate or mediate a session of numbers of people rather than one to one. Yeah, it's really come back to your responsibility and the scope of work that you were tasked to lah. So now is how I see differently definitely is being as a facilitator, where you conduct sessions on different life skills topics. So when you do that in a big group, meaning you will hear little inputs from individual rather than having one person who share almost everything to you. Yeah, and you also have step by steps, because facilitation or program meanings you have theme or specific topic or segments throughout that 1 or 2 hour session. So you will see the other side of the youth when they are in a group lah.
Mm-hmm.
They will behave differently or act differently or talk differently rather than being an individual lah. So sometimes they can be themselves if they are comfortable within the groups. Otherwise, they become another person lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, previously you did mention about having a dance crew with your previous youth. If you were given a chance, would you want to open up a dance crew, but with your new environment?
Actually, there was a plan before COVID.
Oh.
There was a plan. So I wanted to, okay, since not knowing where am I coming from, right? Which organization or what. In that particular institution that I work at, they do have a dance crew, which is quite known of lah, especially for the Mak Minarip.
Nanti
Hey.
rasa kan.
So what happened is, I heard there's a lot of politics.
Oh,
Surprisingly,
in the
dance group unit itself,
Okay.
there's a lot of politics, and they only groom the best,
Mm.
best out of the best lah.
Mm.
And yang lain macam semua terbiar gitu, macam like
Everyone was the
cast
best,
aside
right?
lah. Yeah. So the one cast aside, I thought I want to take them.
Oh, okay.
And then no matter what your genre, just like Frustration Crew, we all like have our uniqueness, but we still come together. So I see that way. And rather than giving different platform for different performance or what, I want to do like a flash mob lah. So I understand that on yearly base they have some kind of like a welcoming period or graduation period. I thought it's nice to have flash mob all over the institution lah. So that was the plan. And surprisingly, I have one of my old crew actually came back and go for further studies in the institution. So that's why I met him, and I was like, whoa, good. Were you still dancing? And apparently he used to, but now he's more into jamming, but he still like to do his b-boying. So that's when we kind of gathered this idea, and like Yeah, why not? We just try to create a flash mob lah for different events in the institution. Then COVID happened.
Sucks.
If not, it might happen in April though.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
but yeah, it looks like postponed, or I don't know whether it's gonna happen in future.
It sounds like a Angmo movie, like
Step up,
what's that called?
it's a lot.
Yeah, there's like really Angmo story, like the crews wanted the best, and then outcast the rest that like a bit so and all those stuff, and then came
Yeah.
someone that can dance, wanna
Yeah.
groom them in a better way, all those stuff.
Yeah.
But
I should create a movie of my life,
yeah, that's anyway, if you guys don't know, Sab is a certified instructor to dance, right? You are certified, right?
Yeah, last time.
Yeah. So that's why she has this this kakak teaching the youth to dance. But
Yeah.
so maybe you should make a movie about that.
Yeah, should. Okay,
Enough
so
of
are you the producer?
I inshallah, maybe we'll hit billions. Then I can get my 20 million. Please lah.
Oh,
I've been
oh my God.
I've been praying all day and night, for my 20 million to come.
Million, I wonder in Singapore, how much Jack Neo earn, So
I don't know.
I have to travel all the way to the Hollywood lah to make millions if it's even hit.
Priyanka is there, you see. Priyanka is there, and
Priyanka
she
is
even married.
there.
Oh my God.
I married a Bollywood here already, so no chance. Yeah.
Okay lah, that one also can lah.
Can lah.
Can. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. What is one common myth about your profession working as a youth worker?
Myth, like
for myself, like I'm a special educator, right? So
Yep.
when people heard me that I'm a special educator, they will be like, oh, so these special need people can succeed in life, meh? These special need people, they know how to go home on their own, meh? Like those negative vibes that I've been receiving, and then they will be saying that, yeah, they go to school also, they cannot learn anything, you see? It's like they go to school, by the time they graduate, all they do is sit at home or maybe go to daycare again until they are old, until the end of their life, or worst come to worst, they will be sent to a residential home after their parents pass away. There will be no one taking care of them. But there are proven some of special needs students entered at least ITE, you see. So that's a success story for us, because they don't just stop there. They don't just stop at this track where we call it stop at just special education. They went on to ITE, and then some of them went on to poly, even though it took them a longer route. So they still went on, and they still graduated from that particular course that they took. So these are some of the myths, that I have been hearing for the past 8 years, you see. Whenever you talk about, or whenever people see, Down syndrome people, or any kind of special needs, they will tend to say that, oh, he cannot make it. But in fact, there are proven reports that they actually can do better than anyone else that you thought that they can't. So that's a few myths that I've been hearing about lah. So about working with youth, I guess maybe like some will say, why you waste your time on youth, They don't want to do means they don't want to do. Why you still want to, be there for them, supporting them. So what's one common myth about your work?
I think that it's extreme though. Like it's extremely like lepak. You got nothing to do with it. Like I always see you chit chat around, play with them, but they don't know the behind work lah, the behind the scene kind of work. Or it's either, as you say lah, it's a very tough job. What's the point? They're not gonna listen to you. So the one that behind the scene, if you always see at the front, like we always engage them in a fun way because we have to. Otherwise, they will likely, if imagine that I come to you, Okay, how are you? How's your life? Um, if you do this, actually it's not nice, that you come straight away looking towards their challenges and then you give your advice.
Mm.
So imagine, do you think they want to open up to you? It might not happen at all lah.
Yeah.
So definitely the first place is like, hey, how's your day? Have you eaten your lunch or not? Not yet lah. Okay lah. Hey, want to play game or not? So it has to be something that you appear cheerful.
Mm.
That's why I like this lighting. And then you're very approachable, friendly, and whatever they ask, you being open to answer and share also.
Mm.
And they want to see your real you, your persona. So whoever you are as it is, how you show to your friends or what, they also want to see that side of you. So once you show that side of you, you also be able to share your challenges. It can be back there, it can be at the present, but it really at your comfortable level, because certain things you have to keep in private lah. But some things that they want to see you as, you're not perfect.
Mhm.
So what is your worry? What's your fear? They want to see that. They don't want to just see you as like everything is 100% perfect lah. You got the ideal life, ideal career. Actually, there's a lot of challenges before we even get where we are lah. So they want to see that. That's when we show the other side of us, some parts, not all,
Mhm.
and that's how they got their inspiration or wisdom.
So
Yeah.
you do draw, you do wear different hats when you are talking to them or approaching them.
Yeah. Yes, of course, I have to wear different hats. So once I done that fun part, when I got that deeper connection with them, meaning they always looking forward to meet me, to text, to even ask how's my day, how am I, blah blah blah, and they easily open up about themselves, about what's happening in school or their personal life. That's when things can get a bit more serious lah. Meaning you have the authority to start to give your advice, or you want to support them in certain ways because they start to open up to you.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's why there's a reason being, it's either you see extremely lah, we almost like lepaking with them,
Mm.
or you felt that it's super tough job. It is definitely, because you are journey with someone, so you are trying to mold someone life. The fact that this person have instilled certain values in their life already, certain belief or values, and when by the time we met them, they are what, 18
Mm.
onwards. Definitely they have certain perspective in their life already, and for them to change immediately, no lah.
Very hard lah.
Like you have certain habits that you adopt since young.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden you tell them to change.
Mhm.
It's gonna take a while. Ask yourself lah. Normally we will ask ourselves, if this happened to me, if I put myself in their shoe, can I change?
Mm.
So you always measures yourself lah. Then you have the answer to it. And the outcome, it will definitely takes years later when they become adult. Then they have their aha moment. But for now, it's really about allowing them to process or digest whatever we taught them, whatever that we're trying to instill something in their life. And it comes later, lah, not that soon. And that's something that every youth worker or volunteer must expect lah.
Mhm.
You can't change a person in seconds
Like,
or days or overnight, really.
What's the longest what is the longest time that a youth open up to you?
The longest time, maybe after 2-3 months,
Okay. And the earliest?
that 3 hours.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. 3 hours. He wouldn't
Yeah.
open up if not for the 3 hours. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.